In 1945, a startling discovery was made near Nag Hammadi, Egypt. Buried in jars were ancient codices, texts long forgotten by history. Among them were Gospels and writings that challenged everything we thought we knew about early Christianity. These were the voices of the Gnostics, an early and radical school of Christian thought. Ever since their rediscovery, these texts have reignited debates about the roots of Christianity, the meaning of creation, and the true nature of God. But who were the Gnostics? And what did they believe? The meaning of Gnosis. The term Gnostic comes from the Greek word gnosis, meaning knowledge. But not just any knowledge, it referred to a direct spiritual insight. Not intellectual facts, but an inner awakening. In many mystical traditions, including early Christianity, this kind of knowledge was seen as the key to salvation. Gnostic texts use this term to describe the moment one realizes their divine origin, that spark of eternity buried beneath the flesh. Gnosticism, a rejected path. After Jesus, early Christianity exploded into a variety of interpretations. There was no single orthodoxy, only competing schools of thought. One of the most mysterious and controversial of these schools was what we now call Gnosticism. Unlike the version of Christianity that would later become mainstream, the Gnostics taught that the material world was not created by the true God, but by a false one. A demented craftsman, a false god, ignorant of the higher realms who trapped souls in flesh and matter. The myth of the divine realm. Gnostic cosmology is complex and vast. At the highest level, the invisible spirit exists, an unknowable, boundless divine source. From this source emanates a series of divine beings known as aeons, aspects of divinity, often appearing in male-female pairs. Among them is Barbelo, the first emanation and the divine womb of all. But something goes wrong. One aeon, Sophia malformed. Wisdom tries to create something on her own without the consent of the invisible spirit. The result is a malformed being, Yaldabaoth. Misshapen, arrogant, and unaware of the higher realms, Yaldabaoth believes himself to be the only god. And in his ignorance, he creates the material world, a dark inversion of Genesis. To the Gnostics, Yaldabaoth is the god of the Old Testament, the one who proclaims, "I am a jealous God, and there is none beside me." This wasn't a sign of divine authority, but of blindness. In their retelling of Genesis, the serpent in Eden is not Satan, but a liberator, a messenger from the true divine realm, encouraging Adam and Eve to awaken, to eat the fruit of knowledge, and to remember who they really are. Humanity, according to Gnosticism, is divine in origin, but trapped in a prison of flesh. The goal is not obedience, but awakening. Not salvation through faith, but through gnosis. Seth and the Gnostic lineage. According to Gnostic myth, after Adam and Eve's first sons, Cain and Abel, they bore another, Seth. Unlike his brothers, Seth was born from a pure union and inherited the divine spark. Gnostics often referred to themselves as the seed of Seth, the spiritual descendants tasked with remembering the truth. Christ the Revealer. Gnostics were Christians, but their Christ was different. To them, Jesus was not a physical incarnation who suffered on the cross, but a divine emissary who only appeared in the flesh. His purpose was not to die for sin, but to remind humanity of its true home, the divine realm, and show the way back. The Gnostic Jesus saves not by dying, but by teaching. Competing Christianities. For centuries, Gnostic groups like the Sethians and Valentinians coexisted with other early Christian communities. They held study circles, wrote their own Gospels, and blended into the larger Christian world. Writers like Irenaeus, Epiphanius, and Athanasius fought back hard. They declared these teachings heresy, warning of secret rituals and dangerous doctrines, even accusing Gnostics of cannibalism and blasphemy. But modern scholarship sees these polemics as part of a wider power struggle. What we now call orthodoxy was just one interpretation that eventually won out: the fall and legacy. As the institutional church grew in power, it crushed dissenting voices. The Gnostic texts were banned, hidden, or destroyed. The Nag Hammadi Library survived only because someone buried it in the desert. But the ideas didn't disappear. Echoes of Gnostic thought can be found in Manichaeism, Mandeism, and even in medieval heresies like the Cathars. And today, those whispers rise again. The return of Gnosis, modern seekers, scholars, and mystics are once again drawn to the Gnostic worldview. Its mythic power, its radical inversion of doctrine, its defiant stance against blind obedience, all resonate with the disenchanted and the curious. Perhaps that's the danger and the allure of Gnosticism. It doesn't ask you to believe, it dares you to remember.